Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
And your brother, Mick, is here, right? Mick, welcome to the
Yes.
program today.
Thank you.
Now, we want to find out about Midwest research. It's very interesting to hear about this because it deals obviously with subliminal tapes. You might explain what subliminal tapes and what subliminal means, I guess, to the folks, if you will. Then.
Subliminal is, it's been around since the turn of the century. It was first discovered in the, some 80 years ago when man knew he could perceive information subconsciously that he could not perceive consciously. And in the 1950s, probably a test that was used or manipulation that was used that was very widely publicized were the popcorn flashes and Coke flashes that they used in the movie theaters, which increased Coke sales by 72% and popcorn by 18%. Since that time, subliminals have they've not been outlawed by any agency, with one exception or two exceptions. They cannot be used on television or radio, which leads us to believe that maybe there is some people that do consider how powerful they really are. Midwest Research is a Michigan corporation. It's been in business about 5 years. We do business in about 42 countries, and we've developed audio subliminal techniques for use through the ear. We have some 65 programs available to the people, to the market, and we are involved in about 45 other custom design programs, which have users from universities to Steve Carlton and the Philadelphia Phillies and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, I understand they're all used in positive presentations to the folks. In other words, they're all done in a positive way to either quit smoking or to help control weight loss, this type of thing.
Man takes a long time to develop his problems, and the subliminal technique is, all of our programs are 100% positive. They deal with primarily self-image, attitude, and confidence, as well as the subject matter of the particular program. And it's really interesting how the actual technique does work, and you have to understand a little bit about the mind. When I'm speaking right now, my voice isn't giving out words that are picked up by everyone's mind. I'm actually sending out a vibration that's picked up by the ear. The vibration penetrates some fluid-filled membranes in the ear, and they're given off to the mind in the form of electronic impulses. Those impulses are stored there by the subconscious mind for use anytime by the conscious mind. And everything we experience in our lifetime is stored in our subconscious mind. Everything we experience through our senses. Unfortunately, all those things aren't positive, and we end up with some problems like weight loss and procrastination and bad self-image, etc. And through a method of recording multiple frequencies and multiple signals on cassette tapes, masking those positive suggestions with ocean wave sounds, we produce these 65 programs to help people alter, change their behavior in any area that they elect or choose to.
Give us some examples how they work as far as the program. Mick, what are some of the examples of how they work in our society today? And
if a person was concerned about maybe a bad habit that they had that they wanted to overcome, they could go through we have a program guide that displays or depicts our programs. There's 65 separate programs to choose from at the present time. They may have a bad habit that they want to shed. They pick a program that will apply to that particular situation. Then they simply play this cassette tape in a cassette tape player. They don't have to concentrate on it in any particular fashion. Just play it so they can hear the sound of the ocean waves. The positive suggestions that are on the program under the sound of the ocean waves are planted in the subconscious mind, and after a fashion of, well, they're guaranteed to work within 30 days, but at some point up to then, behavior starts to change in an automatic fashion without having to think about it.
Does a person have to want to change in order for this to work?
There has been blind studies where people have brought about change without really knowing that they were even being introduced to a program. However, it does help. It's a great benefit to want to bring the change about.
so obviously it's something that they want to do. How does this compare to hypnosis? under hypnosis, they say you cannot be hypnotized to do anything that you don't want to do. Is that similar to this type of a tape system? Does this work similarly, or how does that work? Compare, I guess.
Basically, hypnosis is putting the conscious mind in a state of sleep or deep relaxation, at which time the hypnotherapist will feed positive suggestions to the subconscious mind. With our programs, which I have to say are very closely related to hypnosis, there's no deep sleep or deep state of meditation that's required, because the conscious mind is occupied listening to the sound of ocean waves. And the real secret for putting information into the subconscious mind is to keep the conscious mind occupied. The conscious mind is our limitation. It's the part of us that determines right from wrong and good from bad and positive from negative, and it keeps us from achieving more times than not. So if we can keep that conscious mind occupied, watching television, working in the office, reading a book, no matter what, and play the programs in the background, just so you can hear the ocean wave, it doesn't have to be a blaring sound, then that information gets into the subconscious mind just totally 100%. And through repetition, listening to it several times, and the suggestions on these programs are recorded so that one playthrough of the cassette you're receiving probably 8,000 to 10,000 positive suggestions in regard to whatever it is that you're trying to change. And eventually behaviors do change. They have to change. If they don't change, we've guaranteed the programs 100%.
Now you're aware of all the information. If you were to really concentrate on the tape, you'd know the ocean waves were there, you'd hear the positive suggestions.
That's by definition of subliminal. You do not hear consciously the suggestions. The suggestions are recorded below the ocean wave sound, and there are many different recordings that are under that sound, and they cover a wide frequency range. We cover the spectrum of speech plus some of the higher and lower ranges. And the subconscious mind reacts differently to different frequencies. So it's been our fortune, I guess I can say, to find the technique, which is the SCWL subliminal technique, that really does work. And we've satisfied many thousands of people in this country, and we actually have a larger market outside of this country than we do in this country right now.
So if we played the tape right now, we wouldn't hear the ocean wave?
You would hear the ocean wave,
But
yes.
not the other comments?
You wouldn't hear the suggestions.
So really all you'll listen to is ocean waves.
Right.
You won't really hear anything except the ocean waves.
Right.
Why don't you put them to music? Why ocean waves?
Music is difficult because of the highs and the lows, okay? And we need a sound that's constant. We've tested almost every environmental type of sound that there is, and the ocean wave sound is the sound that is the least stressful on an individual when used in repetition. You can listen to the ocean wave sound and it will be less stressful over a long period of time than would be, say, a rainforest or a thunderstorm. Music, quite honestly, we find that it's very stressful after you listen to it 10 or 15 or 20 times. And some people listen to one tape 6 or 8 or 10 times a day, and it would be a case where the music would get monotonous. Plus the royalties are very, very heavy, and if we had 110 programs paying royalties on them, it prohibit itself because of expense.
I understand they have been used in the past and are being used by stores to help some stores use them to help prevent shoplifting, and I understand it is working in certain areas.
Yes, it does. I can't tell you our customers, but we do have some large stores, large chain stores that are using them. They're using them very successfully, with percentages of 30 to 70% reduction in internal shrinkage. We're also using them not just to stop internal shrinkage, but for employee motivation, employee confidence and attitude building suggestions, which do help those people.
I found that fascinating. They were telling me a story. Someone was telling me a story about them putting them in movies to get people to buy popcorn. And it actually worked. Didn't they do a demonstration? Someone was telling me they did a demonstration on one particular movie. And during the peak of the movie, the most exciting part of the movie, a large share of the people actually got up and went and bought popcorn.
72% of them. That was the figure. This was a test that was done
Just to
back
show you
in the
how
50s.
powerful that this program really works.
It is, and subliminals are widely used today, There are no laws governing subliminals with exception of radio and television. And it's really a wave of the future, and probably we're on a ground floor. We're the largest producer and manufacturer of subliminal self-help programs in the world. And the future ahead of us is, in the next 100 years, I think the mind development program is going to be one of the largest things to hit the country. And it was publicized in an article in the American Research Institute, where they said that it had the potential to be the largest growth industry in the country.
I understand it's being accepted throughout the world, but some countries are questioning it because they want to know all the information that are on the tapes. Obviously, they don't want, they might feel that our country is going to program another country. I could see where they could be questioning that.
They do, and right now our programs, in fact, as of this Wednesday, they were before the Australian Medical Association, where members from the Australian Medical Association from every state in Australia were meeting to go over the scripts on every one of our programs. We also have an advisory board of doctors headed by Dr. Phil Hansen of California State University, who approves the programs for Midwest Research. And there are times when programs have to be changed, altered, times we just scrap the program. Research projects are a very big part of what we do, and we have a lot of ongoing research continuously.
How would I know if I bought one of these tapes what was on that tape? Can I get the script?
You wouldn't have
what's there?
You wouldn't have the script available. I mean, it's quite an obvious. There's two obvious answers. One, our attorneys say don't give out the scripts. It's a secret of your success. And the other is research published by Dr. Silverman that if the subconscious mind, or the conscious mind, I mean, is aware of a subliminal programming, then it won't work. That's what Dr. Silverman says. He spent most of his life researching subliminals. And due to the fact that we do have our programs approved by a rogue scholar, Phil Hansen is a rogue scholar at California State University, plus we're having one of the best medical associations in the world look at all the scripts on all the programs. We feel that that's credibility enough without setting up competition for all of our distributors by giving out the scripts to the programs.
I understand you're marketing this much the way that Amway markets their product, as far as, and you're in charge of marketing, so you should have some information on that. I understand you set up salesmen throughout the country.
Well, it's a similar concept. There are some differences. We look at them as advantages, but in our program, everyone that's a distributor becomes a distributor by, number one, using the product, using the tapes, and finding out that they do in fact work for them. When they find out they can help themselves by using a tape, they have a natural tendency to not be greedy about that, and they would share that with other people that they know, their friends, relatives, people they care about. And a chain reaction starts. It's maybe a slow chain reaction, reference to it takes time for these programs to start their effect. But once a person knows they work, they have no doubts about sharing that with someone else, and it's just kind of an unlimited potential.